Okay. Got somebody who's on applying for Social Security disability benefits, and what they want to do basically is they're interested in working part-time, and they want to work just above the threshold for what we call a trial work period, but a little bit less than substantial gainful, so somewhere in the $800 to $900 range. And they were wondering if they could pull that off. I put my head down because invariably I tell people all the time, if you go to work, at some point Social Security is going to ask the question, well, if you can work part-time, why can't you work full-time? What happened, the reality is that despite all of the political pundits out there, it's hard to survive on disability. Let me just call it like it is. It really is. It's hard to survive. You know, unlike working and getting promotions or going to different jobs and getting better job opportunities, Social Security is fixed. And let's be real. You know, even though your Social Security goes up 3% for cost of living, sometimes it doesn't stay on pace with, you know, what you've got to pay for your light bill, your water bill, gas. And let's be real, it's only a fraction of what you were making during your working years. Routinely, I'll get a few people who want to roll the dice and want to try to supplement their Social Security by doing a little bit of work, just enough to kind of push them over the top. And I tell people this. First of all, the trial work plan, which basically says that if you work within 9 months during a 5-year period, that money will be penalized against you for purposes of you not being found disabled anymore. I always tell people this. When you play the money game, be prepared to be broke. And when I say that, they're like, what do you mean by that? I mean this. When you're applying for disability, you're telling Social Security that your condition is of such a nature that you cannot work. The whole notion of that is that you're telling the government that I'm too impaired to work. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get disability benefits on the basis of not being able to work, yet work to supplement the money that you're getting for not working. See how kind of jacked up that sounds? So I tell people, be careful. If you're doing that, the reality is, I don't live in your house. I ain't got your bills. I understand times are tight and you have to make some tough choices and so forth. Be advised. And I get people asking me all the time, Attorney Reeves, you know, I'm thinking about supplemental my income just a little bit. I'm just going to, well, what do you think? And you know, how much can I make? I said, first time they come to me and they tell me, how much can I make? I get angry. And I'm telling them, listen, I want you to listen to what you're saying. You're asking me to tell you how much money can you make from working to add to the benefits you're getting because you can't work. Listen to what I'm saying now. You're saying, how much money can you make to work to supplement the money you're getting from the government, and you told the government you can't work? Now, it's fascinating because listen to me, and I'm not trying to get too emotional, but this was always hits a nerve when people come at me with this one. You're not coming to me telling me I want to work to see if I can go back into the workforce. That's what I want to do. Then I'm going to tell you the trial work plan, extended trial work plan. Okay. You're not telling me that you've done this for occasional periods of time, like I did a month here, got a couple dollars, or a couple months there. Then I would say it's a successful work attempt. It was some substantialness. No, that happens. You're coming to me telling me that you want to work. I got news for you. Get it out your mind that it's part-time. Get it out your mind that the amount of money you're making is not what you made before. It is still work. Work. And what you're asking me is, how much money can you make working to add to the money you're getting because you told the government you can't work? So I say this to tell you this. If you're going to roll the dice and try to supplement your Social Security by trying to work, don't be surprised if you undergo a review and Social Security tries to evaluate whether or not they think you are able to work or not. Now, there are going to be people who watch this video who are going to freak and say, I'm not going to mess with my benefits. I'm just not going to work at all. And I tell them, I don't want you to sit in there confused and crazy and think just because you're not working, the Social Security can still find that you're able to work. Meaning, I don't want you to think in your mind that you not physically working is an added bonus to demonstrate to Social Security that you should be on disability benefits forever. Because if they determine that your condition is improved during that time period when you made the decision, I'm not going to work because I don't want to mess up my benefits, it doesn't matter that you weren't working. Because if they think you were able to work, they can still find you. They can still find you not disabled. And so I know there's some people right now throwing their hands up. Attorney Reeves, man, you messing up my hustle. I don't understand what the deal is. I said, that's the problem. The reality is the money that you're getting from disability, hands down, is typically not enough to sustain the lifestyle that you would like to live. And I'm not talking about living in the lap of luxury. I'm just talking about the basic fundamental lifestyle that you believe you should at least be able to provide for yourself. And I've had many clients who come to me telling me they just had to make that choice, and I understand that. What I tell you this, if you make the decision to try to supplement what you're doing, supplement your disability by trying to get a little few dollars on the side, I'm not telling you to do or not do anything. What I am telling you is that if you do so at your own peril. So, like I said, we're not talking about a trial work period. We're not talking about extended trial work period. We're not talking about, the occasional thing here and there. If you're talking about re-entering into the workforce to make just enough money to try to level out, and Social Security is not dumb. If you're trying to just make enough under that threshold, so you're thinking that it won't alert these two different systems, the fact that you're working will still alert them. And if they decide to review you and make a determination about your condition, don't be surprised. And I always tell people two things. One, just because you are not working does not mean they won't review you. And just because you do work doesn't mean they're going to automatically do it right out the gate. But just keep in mind, if they start noticing that you're making consistent revenue on a sustained basis, because remember, if you're working, it's tied to your Social Security number, they may look to see if your condition is medically improved.